Hi, I'm Corrie with Paul's Photo, the Creative Photo Academy, and the lab at Paul's Photo. And today I am going to talk to you about my video rig. I have everything set up. This is like everything that I would have, and then we're gonna break it down a little. So this is what I do for a video shoot that is an interview shoot, anything that's not super like handheld a long time, because this is a little bit bigger, but it's actually not that heavy. So I will show you each piece and what it does. We are rigged out on my Canon R5 Mark II, but this can be done on any of the cameras that are around because cages are made for everyone. And SmallRig is pretty much our version of Legos as photographers and videographers. So let's get to it. So I'm going to start from the front and we'll go front back. So this is your matte box. This is made specifically to block some light. This is a really cool one that SmallRig makes. You can have it whatever level you want. You protect your lens when you're not using it. Go with that. You can slide it around some if the sun's here. This is the matte box mini. So normally matte boxes have 4 sides, but with the mini you get 1 side, and I find that's enough. And it also just kind of makes you look cool. So that's the one part that I will use when I'm shooting outside. The other thing that's really cool about this with SmallRig is that they are awesome enough to give you all of the sizing adapters that you would need. So there's about 5 there because this right here is a 95 millimeter. My lens right here is the 67 millimeter, and there is a step-up ring just for the matte box. So that is a really cool thing that they add in. And then we're gonna go back to how I hold things. So I have 3 handles really. I have this grip on for my left hand, and what's really cool about this is I can hold like here. If I need to go lower and hold this with a little click, I can turn it however I want, and I can go lower and then back up higher, and it makes it pretty easy. On the other side, because I'm an old person, not really, I started doing video 20 years ago when there was a beta camera on my shoulder and I had the little strap for my hand, so I still do that and tighten this up so that there's some relief from my muscles. Unless you're a climber, you're really not trying to get those finger holds all the time. And then the other handle that I have is the top handle here with my monitor on it, so that's another way you can walk along and do different levels like that. So those are the 3 points that I always have some kind of hold on. Even when I have a smaller rig, which we'll break down to, those will always be there. So then we are going to talk about the Shinobi monitor here. Now this is great because while this is a really good on-camera display that I have that comes on the Canon, this I can move. I actually have an articulating arm, so I can go around here, however I'm standing with the camera or whatever I need to see, and it's bigger. And it's actually better probably in daylight than the Canon display. So I'll use that 98% of the time I'm shooting video. So let's kind of break down what's coming out of it. So you see there's a bunch of cables. One is the HDMI cable connected to the camera, which you need to see. One of the cool things about the R5 Mark II is that it's a full-size HDMI cable, which everyone was excited about. The other thing here is the power. So you can use smaller batteries that are just on here. I find that I like to use this big brick back here. It's called a V-mount battery, to power everything, and just have it here because it balances the camera for when I'm going handheld. And it also gives me stability when I'm doing this. So that is connected to the tap here. And then I also have their SmallRig has multiple size batteries. This is the 99. The reason why 99 is so cool is because it's the highest amount of powered battery that you can carry on a plane. Because at 100 watts you can't do it as carry-on, and you don't want to lose your stuff when you're traveling. So they do have a 220, they have a 50. There's for every need that you have, basically in every size. But I really like this for long days. I use the 50 for short days. And I also use it for lights that have V-mounts. So V-mount's kind of like a Swiss Army battery power for you as a videographer and photographer. So the way that we talked about how it's plugged into the monitor, This is also plugged into my camera. So I have the camera being powered by this battery, and what you need to do that is you have to have a coupler that fits your camera. So if you see here, the cord goes all the way around. I have on this camera, I have the extra battery grip that has a fan, which is really cool. So let me take this out. This is the coupler. You have to have a special one for each camera model. Obviously, it has to fit your battery. So it goes where the battery would go. And you may not ever notice it until you need to, but every camera has a little place that comes out for you to put that cable. So that is powering, this is powering my monitor and my camera. I also have here a Rode microphone to get the ambience usually of what's happening, and then I will use another lav microphone that I connect on the other side, which I forgot to bring, and be able to have speakers speaking like I am right now. So let me kind of take some of this off so we can see a little bit more. I'll take this out because we're not turning anything on. So the thing about getting external power for your camera is it takes about 3 pieces. I just showed you the coupler that you have to have for your camera. You have to have a place for it to mount. So this is a V-mount attachment for my camera. This is a bigger one. There are multiple sizes. I am using this one because it connects to these rods, and this connects to the tripod plate. Now these rods you would use if you're using the system, but it also has the rods in the front here. So you can you get really fancy and get a follow focus. And what a follow focus is when you have a little wheel that gets here and you turn it this way. So sometimes people, especially in the film industry and doing video, if they have multiple camera operators, you can do that. They even have remote ones now, which is really cool. So that's why you would get one that's this beefy. It looks heavier than it is. Like I said, it's not at all. If you are doing just the battery for power and the monitor and you don't need the rails, then you could get one that's this. It's really simple. And Carrie, this is what I need, just a few things. You unscrew it here, and then your tripod plate slides in here. And then you can move this out, and then this is where the battery goes. So if you don't need to add any kind of extra attachments and you don't need the rails, this is probably the best bet for you because it's keeping it simple, and we always like to do that. Start kind of taking this down for you so we can see stuff a little bit better. Another thing I have here to make life easier is that SmallRig has these quick release Hawkeye things. So I have that on my monitor. So let's say you don't want the monitor, you don't need all this fancy, you're just doing short videos. Then I would say the best thing for you to do, again, is just doing keeping it simple with just this. Even if you're not using the monitor, which let's get that off there. Sometimes I just do things too tight and I can't unscrew it because I don't want my stuff to fall off. And then I get home and have to, there we go. So at its most basic form, if I'm just doing quick video for something and I am using the back display for my camera, I'm doing this. This way I still have 3 points of contact if I need to. And then the one thing that I don't have with this as much is the stability by having that extra battery that can go against my wannabe abs. So that is one way that you can rig out your camera to do video like I do. We have, like I said, it's Legos for video and photographers. So if you want to get rigged out by us, come down to Paul's Photo. We have all kinds of SmallRig gadgets to get you going.